Snapdragon is a 1993 erotic thriller from director Worth Keeter. The movie begins with an innocent camping trip. I'm here to tell you I don't approve of what happens later. A mother, father, and daughter are sleeping when in come the criminals. The parents are killed and the girl is kidnapped, shipped to China, and put on the human market. This isn't very fun. This large gentleman seems particularly pleased with her. Coochie. The next few minutes are, understandably, non-stop crying. The kidnappers give the girl a tattoo for tracking purposes, I guess. Years go by and the girl's been trained to be the best at something.
You will be the best ever.
Sex slave? Assassin? Lifeguard? We cut to this absolutely stunning, mysterious blonde waking up. Ah, the movies, where women wake up and their makeup's already on and their hair's done. We cut to a Chinatown parade already in progress. Over in a hotel room, this guy is having the best night of his life. Things quickly go south as the mysterious blonde slashes his throat. You could have at least let me finish. Oh. She places a silk blindfold over his eyes and draws a symbol on the mirror. This is already like an episode of Silk Stockings. In another part of town, a creepy guy is picking up a hooker. The guy gets a little handsy and discovers the hooker is an undercover cop. At the police station, Officer Peckham, who goes by the nickname Peck, is tired of working undercover. The captain reassigns her to the case to find out who is murdering people with sex.
And Peck?
Yeah.
Cover your ass.
Don't worry. I'm not the one who gets naked in this movie. Peck celebrates by giving her boyfriend the business. This is Dr. David Doc Hoogastraton. Dr. Doc. Detective Sergeant Peck Peckham. Put a lot of efforts into these names, didn't they? David's upset because Peck gave him a hickey. He's somehow not upset that she insisted on wearing a bra during sex. Peck tells David she was transferred to homicide. You think she would have told him that before the sex?
What's the case?
Cereal.
Oh, Captain Crunch? No, wait. Fruity Yummy Mummy. Peck asked David to do her a favor and give her a psychological profile of the killer. Oh, so he's that kind of doc. I love the sexy sax music in the background.
I need a favor.
The next day at the crime scene, angry old cop is teamed up with overexcited newbie. Over at David's office, why is there an outlet cover over the light switches? Over at the hospital, David's talking to his friend Bernie. Looks like Bernie remembered not to shave. David hears some singing and finds the mysterious blonde. I notice he just steps over all the other patients and makes a beeline to the attractive girl. He asks her name and she's suffering from amnesia. It's like the beginning of a JRPG. The nurse calls her Felicity, which is the name they gave her until they discover her real one. Bernie tells David they found Felicity a few nights ago at the bottom of a cliff. The two doctors then play white guy basketball. Bernie asks David to talk to Felicity. He doesn't want to because he's a police psychiatrist and only works with cops. However, since she's young and attractive, David makes an exception. He hypnotizes her to try to get some answers. It doesn't work. David tells Bernie it's because she doesn't want to remember. Bernie tells him they have to release her even though she has no idea who she is. The next day, wow, she healed quickly. I had to look it up, and indeed, that is a white Snapdragon. Now that Felicity's out, she's on to her next victim. Or was she just dreaming this? Wait, where is she staying? They found nothing on her. How does she have an apartment? Felicity finds Doc and asks for his help. Okay, it's a few weeks later. David then decides he can help her by taking her out to lunch. You think they could have given him an easier name.
Thank you, Dr. Hoogastraton.
Alright, social services got her an apartment and a job. This movie's answering questions. Although, did social services give her a first name, a last name, a social security number, get her set up with an apartment, get her set up with a job, and can they really do all this? Am I asking too many questions about the booby movie? She's talking to Doc about the dreams she's having.
Is it normal to see yourself having sex with faceless strangers?
No, but it's kinda hot. Then she tells him all about period sex.
Just at the end, there's always blood. Lots of blood.
The police find the next victim.
Let me know if you find any blonde pubic hairs.
Well, it was the 90s. The Sphinx wasn't popular yet. Why is this guy videotaping the mirror? David decides to visit Peck at work. He questions her pube theory.
Your killer's Oriental.
Not with blonde pubic hair.
Later that day, he goes to church. Forgive me, Father, I'm in a sex movie. Even though he's not a cop or even involved in the case, he still goes around asking questions. One of the victims was an upstanding member of the church. Oh, that old gag.
You know, it's difficult to imagine. No. Impossible to conceive how he was ever coerced into such a compromising situation.
Yes, I also have no idea how he was coerced into such a situation. It truly is a mystery. The two doctors are discussing how, because of the x-rays, it looks like Felicity was abused as a child. David decides he's going to follow up on this and goes to see Felicity at her job. They go out to eat at a local restaurant. He's starting to think she might be the killer. The next day, David and Peck are jogging. Does Stephen Bauer not know how to run? What is it with guys named Stephen who can't run? David goes to the all-flower warehouse and sees Felicity, but she gets away. He then meets up with Bernie.
Instant heart attack, right?
When I think instant heart attack, I think it's something like this. Not a small hot dog with relish. David wants access to her case file so he can help her. Bernie tries to be the adult in the room and tells David to knock it off. David, of course, can't leave it alone. Seems his penis has overruled his brain. He goes to talk to a nurse about Felicity. He asks if she had any marks or tattoos.
When she first came here, she was taking a shower.
I was watching her because I'm a dirty old woman. She tells him about the tattoo on her leg. The Snapdragon tattoo was something sex traffickers put on young girls when they sold them into slavery to prove they were pure. He asks the professor about the symbol they found on the mirrors. She gives him a book that explains the dragon's tongue, a device used by concubines to assassinate enemies of the emperor. Later that night, they're having clothed sex again. Peck's frustrated because she doesn't have any leads on the case. David then goes on a beach date with Felicity. She has flashbacks to the cliff where she fell. The date goes on into the evening. She asks David a legit question.
Do you think that maybe before all of this, I could have been a bad person?
Nah. Even though you have the tattoo on your leg, that's the same symbol they keep finding at the place of the murders. It can't possibly be you. I imagine his inner monologue sounding something like this. You know she's probably the killer. Who cares? She's really hot. Guess which side wins? You got it. Who lit all these candles? After a fairly long romp, he wakes up and she's gone. He gets a call that tells him there's been another murder. He's talking to Peck about the murder.
Mothra?
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 She's upset because she can't find the killer.
This is making me crazy. It's like she's inside of me.
Wow, what a coincidence, because I was just inside of... David goes home and finds Felicity waiting for him. After a shower, she tells him she had another nightmare. She needs to sleep, so he lets her crash on the couch. She has a nightmare about the beginning of the movie. David goes to check on her. She wants to leave, but David convinces her to stay for the sex. In the middle of coitus, guess who shows up for a visit? She's not happy, obviously. David chases after her, but she's gone. Then he goes back in and Felicity's gone. Well, I guess it's time to bust out the love pillow. The next day at work, Peck goes to yell at David for being stupid. She's angry about the cheating, but also because he withheld information pertinent to the case. They go to Chinatown looking for information about Felicity. The owner of the club isn't helpful, so they leave. David goes to talk to Bernie, but it looks like Felicity got there first. Aw, poor Bernie. Still got all his clothes on. He didn't even get to go out on a high note. Stephen Bauer's acting isn't the best here.
Oh, shit!
Peck is angry, but still wants to console David over Bernie's death. He tells her about Felicity. Some more of that award-winning acting.
How could people do that? How could people do that? I mean...
He takes her to Felicity's apartment. While looking around, David finds a clue and hides it from Peck. This guy is full of bad decisions. He says he's headed to the morgue while Peck stays behind. David goes to the address he found on the matchbook. He finds Felicity, who's ready for love. He doesn't seem too put off by the girl who murdered his best friend. She makes the move and Don't do it. Don't do it! Ah, damn it, David! After the dumbest thing David's ever done, the police bust down the door. Peck can't believe that he would be this stupid.
Cute, David. Real cute.
Hey, it's not what seems.
Felicity goes home and gets ambushed. David tries to pass the buck and blames everything on Peck and Bernie.
My life was just fine before I got brought into this bizarre business.
Please, just shoot him. Peck's the only likable character in this whole thing. David goes back to the club looking for Felicity. He goes upstairs after her. He goes into a room and gets knocked out. He then discovers...
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Seems there's good Felicity and evil Felicity. Why was good Felicity having nightmares?
We shared everything. Even our dreams.
Oh, I call BS on that. So, both girls decided to get the exact same breast implants? Evil Felicity shows him the murder weapon. How does this giant contraption fit in her mouth? Oh, wait. I remember the Tommy Lee video. Yeah, she could fit just about anything in there. Good Felicity gets free and they wrestle. Oh no, this is going to end with one of them getting shot. Yep. Wait, dummy, why are you hugging the evil one?
How'd you know which one to shoot?
Didn't matter to me.
So evil Felicity goes back to her apartment and dumbbell David doesn't know. After all that's happened, wouldn't she be at the very least brought in for some questions? Nah, not in sexy crime movies. David leaves and evil Felicity gets ready for more killing. The movie was shot mostly in and around areas in California. This was the film debut of Pamela Anderson. Before this, she was in The Taking of Beverly Hills, but was only in a tiny uncredited part. They started filming this in early September of 1992. Just a few weeks later, Pamela Anderson would have her debut on Baywatch and become an almost instant star. When Snapdragon was released about a year later, they took advantage of this by showcasing her prominently on the cover. She followed this up with a series of erotic thrillers like Raw Justice and Naked Souls. In 1996, after her marriage to Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, she was cast in the large-budget comic book movie Barbed Wire. Unfortunately, much like what happened with Vanilla Ice and Cool as Ice, Barbed Wire came out just a little too late. If it was released earlier, it probably would have been a hit. With the news talking about her marriage to Tommy Lee, she was oversaturated, and I think most people were just sick of her by that point. I was kind of sad because Barbed Wire the comic was great. When they originally announced they cast Pamela Anderson, I thought she was a great choice, but the film kind of imploded. I enjoy it for what it is, a post-apocalyptic retelling of Casablanca. Yes, I plan on doing a video on it. Stephen Bauer played David. While in the 80s, he was in larger films like Scarface and Running Scared. In the 90s, he was doing a lot of erotic thrillers. Movies like Woman of Desire, Improper Conduct, and Sweet Poison. He even did an episode of The Red Shoe Diaries. He was able to get out of that, and more recently was in shows like Ray Donovan, Better Call Saul, and Queen of the South. Just this year, he was in the movie Flinch, a movie that everyone should see. Chelsea Field was Sergeant Peck Peckham. With credits in everything from Masters of the Universe to Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Field's an actress that seems to wind up in a lot of movies I enjoy. The director of Snapdragon is Worth Keeter. Before this, he directed action movies like Dogs of Hell, The Order of the Black Eagle, and L.A. Bounty. After this, he went in a direction I don't think anyone would have expected. He started directing episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. A lot of them. He directed episodes of the original series, Power Rangers in Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, and even the Halloween special. He also directed similar properties like VR Troopers, Big Bad Beetleborgs, and Masked Rider. Snapdragon is a Skinemax-style movie. Not as dirty as something like Indecent Behavior, but still would get you the side eyes if your wife walked in while you were watching it. Pamela Anderson was only 25 when shooting this. While the script wasn't going to win any awards, she did give it her all. She did a very good job of playing the vulnerable amnesia victim, Felicity. I was genuinely impressed. I didn't think she was bad at all. I'd put her up there with Shannon Tweed as for Playboy models that went into acting. I mean, compare her to Monique Gabrielle.
He's laughing at you. Come and get me, Deathstalker, if you dare.
Overall, Snapdragon is an erotic thriller with some attractive leads and an interesting twist. And quite possibly the dumbest psychiatrist in the history of movies.
Cute, David. Real cute.
Hey, it's not what seems. Hey,
What do you have, a death wish or something? Cute, David. Real cute.
hey, it's not what seems.